And I was just like, what are we doing?
Well, listen, that's them. What do you mean? You knew what you were getting into when you agreed to go play for Prime. Like, I don't have any sympathy for these dudes who decide to go play for him. You know what it is when you go play. Yeah. Did you know that Colorado, I don't know if you know this, Colorado has the Twitter handles on their jerseys.
Yes.
You know they took his Twitter handle off?
Yes.
And you know they put 247 transfer portal on there?
No.
Yes, they put the Twitter handle for the 247 account that follows the transfer portal.
When?
Before he ended up transferring. He played through the spring.
What?
He told him to transfer. Prime told him to transfer. He said, no, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna prove you wrong. And so during spring practice, they took his name, his handle off and put the 247 transfer portal on there. Yeah. You know what it is when you go play for him, man. You know what he's about. Now you decide whether or not that's what you want to do. You know, he's gonna talk shit about you. He's gonna talk trash to you. You decide if that's what you want to play for. That's on you. That's on you and your parents. You know what it is. He's direct about it. He doesn't, and he should be. Let me be clear. He should be direct about it. They won 4 or 5 games last year. 4 games, and one of them was the overtime against Colorado State.
Remember when they won in overtime against Colorado State, and then it was like, wow, they're gonna go to a bowl game and Coach Prime's first year?
I do remember you people saying that. And I remember I remember saying out loud, hey, they might not win another game the rest of the season.
Yeah, but then they still almost beat USC, so
that is where Fire the Black Guy came from.
That is.
They almost beat USC only because USC let up.
You because you refused to get excited about
Colorado State. You guys wanted me to be excited about Colorado versus Colorado State.
Wrong. We wanted you to be excited about College Game Day going to Boulder.
Going to who?
Colorado State.
No, I'm not a sheep. I'm not a sheepo. I'm not. You're not going to trick me into being excited about things that I know aren't going to be good. Like Memphis Tigers men's basketball program next year. Hey, what was the song today?
Hey, the song is actually a really great song that I'd highly recommend. It's called Be Sweet by a band called Japanese Breakfast. And if you want a book to go along with your band recommendation of the morning, Michelle Zauner, the lead singer of Japanese Breakfast, wrote one of my favorite memoirs of the last 10 years called Crying in H Mart. So if you want to cry and listen to some good music, there you go. What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, May 2nd. It's going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, a couple of blowouts in the NBA playoffs last night. The Mavs beat the Clippers by 30. Celtics beat the Heat by 34. We'll get into all of that. Teresa Walker will join us about 20 minutes in. It is our first time catching up with her post-NFL draft. We'll get her take on the Titans picks and the other teams who had memorable nights last Thursday. It is a draft day of our own. We are drafting best vacation cities, specifically best U.S. vacation destinations. We will draft those about 50 minutes into the show. We'll end with a little Theater Thursday, big month for movie releases. Plus, it is my favorite season, Tony Awards season. I will tell you about all of the high-profile celebrities who are on Broadway right now, who you want to pay attention to. It will be a fun Thursday. It's almost Friday. Let's go.
Tour. The minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, you know who really notices just how happy you are, guys? Other women, not your woman. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that.
Friday, May 10th, FedEx Forum. Get your tickets now at fluffyguy.com. Don't miss a Memphis Don't Worry Be Fluffy World Tour.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Lionel Richie. And Earth,
Wind, and Fire. Memphis, you're invited to sing a song all night long. For the first time ever, Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind, and Fire together in one magical night you don't want to miss. FedEx Forum, May 29th. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go to business and they can't.
All new material.
They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out.
Nate Bargatze. Friday, May 31st, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at FedEx Forum Box Office or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
Justin Timberlake. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2024. November 14th, FedEx Forum. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guests. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Heart with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Produced by AEG Presents.
I've cuddled a time or two in my life.
We are the right.
I've cuddled too.
I've cuddled a
We're
time
the
or two
right
in my life.
heights. We're the right just
Yeah,
size
and I think sometimes you're cuddling and you're like, man, I don't know if this fits the right way.
Or I was with someone who had like a baseball injury once, and so like his arm couldn't handle, like he physically couldn't.
He had to say, I would love to cuddle you, but I tore my
can't.
rotator cuff.
I physically cannot.
What a wild deal.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what's it all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this feeling. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. Coming off a big night of blowouts around the NBA. Excited to have Teresa Walker join us in the next segment to talk about the NFL draft and everything for the Tennessee Titans. Also, CJ, your Preds pick, not looking as hot. Hope you didn't bet the house. They did win on the road.
Hey.
Still down 3-2.
Hey, it's hockey. Anything happens in hockey. All you got to do is get a goalie that's hot at the right time, get a bunch of saves, and then you got to have the right line depth. And the Predators, I still believe, have the line depth necessary to get them to a Stanley Cup final and to hoist that damn trophy. They can score on any line, Jessica, any line, 1 through 4. The season starts tonight.
Jacob fed you that line. I heard it in my ear.
Okay. It's still
I don't have to
correct.
worry. My season already began. The Colorado Avalanche smoothly sailing into that second round. We'll talk to Teresa about all that and more.
Has she started baseball coverage yet? Is it not college baseball time?
It is college baseball. It's
softball?
long into college baseball season.
Well, no. I don't care about when the season starts. When do I get to start paying attention? Right? And it's about, it's about now, isn't it? For the world, we get ready to start doing the super regionals and stuff like that.
Doesn't it start in June?
Okay, so no, the season
wrong?
hasn't started. I don't know. I think it's like
College
mid-May.
World Series is June 14th through June 24th.
So
we have some time.
So that means late May we get into
but the
super
road to
regionals.
Omaha has long begun. Just ask us, how many innings of baseball have you watched?
None.
Yep, that's what I thought.
None.
Moving right along. We've been busy. It's basketball all day, every day.
Baseball season honestly doesn't start till October, and it's tough because
Baseball
football
season
is
to me
going on.
starts at the All-Star break.
Really?
I will watch because I will always end up watching the All-Star game. It is generally adjacent to the ESPYs, and it represents a dead period. But this year is different because we have the Olympics this summer, even though the Olympics won't start until after that period of time. But usually I'm like so thirsty. I'm wandering through the desert, just trying to get a small taste of actual sports. And then I'm like, oh, the ESPYs. What a reminder of all the good times we've had. Oh, and the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. I can get into that. I have been very into the NBA playoffs. Last night was a complete and total dud in the NBA postseason. The Celtics beating the Heat 118-84 to advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals, where they will face the winner of the Cavs Magic series. Did you see, CJ, the difference of Derek White between when he had hair in the playoffs and when he has since shaved his head in the playoffs?
I have.
The man has cracked the code, and I know it's a code that you are well familiar with hair, was averaging 10.9 points per game, 1.5 threes per game, and his shooting splits were 46, 39, 83. Since he has embraced the bald-headed lifestyle, he is averaging 22 points a game, 4 made threes, and shooting splits of 58, 48, and 90. That is the Derek White experience.
I love seeing those.
I thought you would. I sent it just for you.
I saw another one that was Jamal Murray before the video and after the video. And let me tell you.
Difference?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You know, you got to dig deep and find that
Jamal
playoff
Murray
inspiration in various locations. You want to know who could dig deep and find playoff inspiration? The Los Angeles Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers, who lost to the Mavs last night, 123-93. The Mavs take a 3-2 lead in the series. If the Mavs go and win Game 6, it will mean that the Los Angeles Clippers have played their final game in the Crypto.com arena, as the Clippers move away into a home of their own. Finally, they're moving out of their parents', I'm not going to say their basement because that feels mean. They do share the same court. But
no, it's the basement.
Moving out of their parents' basement and embracing their new Steve Ballmer-funded beautiful arena with the most technologically sound toilets your heart could ever desire. Do you think that we get to a Game 7, or is this it for the Clippers?
No, I think we get to a Game 7. They've been trading punches there. From a stylistic standpoint, they are the exact same team, it feels like. It's a bunch of dudes who can go ISO really, really well. And not a bunch on each team. The Clippers got Paul George. They've got Kawhi when healthy. They've got James Harden. And then coming off the bench, you've got Norman Powell, who can go ISO, and Russell Westbrook, who has struggled 2 through 5. But that's who their ISO ball players are. For the Mavericks, it's just Luka and Kyrie. Just give them the ball, and everybody stand around and pray they create an open shot for you. All right, that's what it is. And then I guess you can throw Tim Hardaway Jr. in that as well, coming off the bench, right? Just give these dudes the balls. And not a lot of ball movement, sticky fingers when the ball hits your hand, and you're just trying to create a shot for yourself if you're one of those 8 players or for somebody else. And the coaching staff seems to be fine putting the games in those players' hands and say, hey, go out there and win one for us.
Well, and right now, Tim Hardaway Jr. is hurt for the Mavs. But Luka, with a cold, he had the sniffles last night and a bum knee, and he still has 35 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. So what? Who cares? He takes care of business. Kyrie actually had a very nice game last night for the Mavs. He had this finish where he just threaded the perfect bucket between, it was Paul George, James Harden, and Terrence Mann, and it was like a 3-person wall around him. And the way that he oozes in between, that sounded horrible.
You know, we talked
No,
about this.
stop.
Have you? No, yes.
No,
yes, we're going to talk about this now because
No.
Have you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No.
You haven't. Okay, there's a character on Brooklyn Nine-Nine named Charles. Lovable dude, great, really intelligent, goofy, silly, fawns over the main character, right? Like he's his hype man.
Right.
Charles says the most sexually explicit things just in casual conversation without knowing he's doing it.
Are we having a come to Jesus moment?
That's you. No, keep going because he gets the clicks.
He
Continue to
just
talk about
oozes
oozing and busting through the paint and things of that nature. Let's go. He's sucking
Yes,
souls.
I know. I said Tyrese
Yes.
Maxey sucked the soul
And we
out
let
of-
it slide. We didn't say anything when you
Yeah,
said
but I
it.
saw you and Jacob have your little moment, and
Yeah,
then we
well, we
clipped
didn't
it and
say
put it
it
on
out
social
loud.
media, and everyone's like,
I
"No,
didn't tell
Diddy
them to clip
sucking
it.
souls." I've been using that phrase for a long time, and I never.
Okay.
It's like more like a Dementor situation,
I understand
like a
what
Harry
it's like.
Potter life. You know, the Dementor comes and like sucks the soul out, and then
Yeah.
you're cold, and you have to go to Azkaban, and it all goes downhill from there.
Dementors suck souls. So does Tiana Trump, right? Like a lot of souls get sucked. Is what I'm trying to say. You got to work on your phrasing.
It's where you put your emphasis on the right sucking soul syllable. It happens, you know. Tyrese Maxey traveled.
Okay.
On that 4-point play. 2-minute review came out last night. Oh boy. I understand the purpose of 2-minute reviews, obviously, and you want to know what the correct calls were, but it doesn't change anything. All it does is add to the chaos that has been Knicks Sixers, and we do get that next game coming up tonight. But as for the Clippers, I was watching this last night, and I feel like I should put a dunce cap on at this point and say that I promise to never, ever, 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 ever again say the words, "This season feels different for the Clippers," until I see that the season is actually going to end differently for the Clippers. And this kind of goes to what your frustrations when we were talking about the potential of David Jones returning to the Memphis Tigers yesterday, where until you see it with your eyes, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times, fool me over and over and over again. Because during that December through February stretch for the Clippers, which included a visit here to play the Grizzlies, and the Clippers won 26 of 31 games, and it looked like the James Harden acquisition was the difference maker for this group. Kawhi's playing out of his mind. Paul George is playing out of his mind. They're all healthy and playing together, and Russell Westbrook is accepting the 6-man role off the bench and is really effective. But so what? Because once you get to the postseason, it's always the same story. And it took me back to, we're going to get really nerdy. Are you familiar with Schrodinger's cat?
Yeah. Is the cat in the box?
Yes.
Yes.
So this
is the cat alive or dead in the box?
Old experiment, that wasn't really an experiment, just a theory, a hypothetical of if there is a cat in a box and there is some kind of deathly toxic substance within that box, you don't know if the cat is dead or alive until you physically open the box. So while the box is closed, even though you know there's something deadly in there, you're not going to assume that the cat is dead or alive, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And that is how the Clippers are until you get to the postseason. We don't know if they are dead or alive. We don't know if they're going to be healthy. We don't know if their stars are going to play up to potential, which they did not last night. James Harden with a mere 7 points. Jaden Harvey had more points than James Harden did, and he played 6 minutes for the Mavs in last night's game. James Harden was 2 of 12. Russell Westbrook was 2 of 11. Paul George was 4 of 13. And Kawhi Leonard is in street clothes on the bench. And that is your Schrodinger's cat of the NBA. And we've seen it time and time again. You cannot bet on the Clippers until you get to this part of the year. And more often than not, they feel dead. Even if they go to 7 games. Even if they make it out of this series. Both of these teams, between the Clippers and the Mavs, feel like they are in a different realm than Nuggets, Timberwolves, Thunder, to me.
Because the ball doesn't move.
Yes.
In the regular season, like, you can outstar opponents, and guess what? Luka and Kyrie and the trio you named for the Clippers, they are some of the brightest stars in the NBA. Very few teams have stars that can keep up with them on a given night in the NBA. But in a series, you're having to play the exact same team multiple times, just boom, 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 and all they are doing is keying in on you. And if your offense is predicated on, hey, give this star player the ball, you go to the corner, you go to the corner, you stand on one block, you stand on one wing, somebody come up and set the screen, and then superstar, go and create something for everybody. That's just not going to work. Gone are the teams that could work against. Gone are the Pistons. Gone are the Raptors. Gone are, unfortunately, the injury-riddled Grizzlies, right? Gone are the teams where you could get easy wins doing that sort of thing. Now, everybody is better. Most of these teams are good, and that's not enough. You have to be more dynamic offensively. That's why a team that is built like the Nuggets, the Celtics, that's why those type the Timberwolves, that's why those types of teams look so successful, while they pop off the screen at you, because there are multiple players who can have impact on the game in multiple ways, one of which is scoring. Caldwell Pope, you could argue, is the fourth player offensively on the fourth option when he's on the court for the Nuggets. But if Michael Porter Jr. goes down, he could step right in and be the third option. And Michael Porter Jr., if Jamal Murray can't play, can step right on up and be the second option. If we're seeing it with the Clippers right now, if Kawhi's not Kawhi, if he's not 100% Kawhi, who's stepping up? Okay, Paul George steps up. Okay, James Harden steps up. Who's stepping up behind them, though? It's supposed to be Powell. It's supposed to be Russell Westbrook. It's just not. They are so one-dimensional offensively that it lends itself to them. It lends itself to being bad basketball for large stretches of games, and you can't win in the playoffs doing that. You can't win enough games to advance in the playoffs.
And it just feels like this is going to be their continued story. New building, same Clippers. I mean, they signed Kawhi to the extension midway through this year. Paul George eligible for an extension. He would either be one of the most sought-after free agents, or he'll be back with the Clippers. And then time and time again, we're having the same discussion next year. And no one's in as bad of a situation. Like, let's be clear. The Phoenix Suns are in the doldrums right now, right? Like, of all the teams that are constructed in a way that is most inducing, it's the Phoenix Suns.
Another ISO ball team.
What'd you say?
Another ISO ball team.
I thought you said another soul-sucking team. I was like, not back to that. It's in the brain. It's embedded deep.
You got to get help. You got to get help. ISO ball team and soul-sucking team don't sound alike.
No, because ISO ball teams get their souls sucked, not the alternative. That's what's up. We will take a quick break. Teresa Walker is going to join us on the other side. I vow to be better as we make our way through this show. We are going to be drafting best vacation cities in the U.S. I'm sure everybody will agree with our choices and have no bad things to say about any of them, but Teresa Walker is up next. We'll talk to her about what the Tennessee Titans did last week in the NFL draft and their projections going forward after a quick break. Hey Grizzlies fans, turn your stadium excitement into betting action at Southland Casino Hotel. As a proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies, Southland brings you more gaming action than ever before. Step onto our massive casino floor stretching more than 2.5 football fields. Slot enthusiasts can enjoy more than 2,300 machines from penny slots to high limits and play the hottest games like Aristocrat, Dollar Storm, Cloverlink, and Lightning Cash. Table game aficionados can feel the thrill of the felt with 50 live table games. From 3-card to blackjack match, we're ready to deal you in. Plus, don't miss stadium gaming for an interactive digital experience. And for high rollers, our high limit room is calling your name. Go big on 6 high limit blackjack tables or spin one of our 54 high stakes slot machines. Throw in 8 delicious dining options and a 300-room high-rise hotel, and there's plenty to keep you going. At Southland Casino Hotel, the gaming excitement never stops.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sauced by Will Smith is taking the championship taste to FedEx Forum. Come enjoy your favorite lineup of sauces on traditional and boneless wings the next time you see the Memphis Grizzlies play. All of your favorite sauces, including the famous Garrick sauce, are now available as you cheer the home team on. Visit Sauced by Will Smith inside FedEx Forum at your next Grizzlies game, or come visit us anytime at our location in South Haven, Mississippi. Championship sauce, championship taste. Come get sauced today.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Are you a healthcare professional looking for a new experience? Look no further than Travel Nurses Inc. Our extensive network of healthcare facilities across the country offers you the opportunity to discover new destinations while pursuing your passion. We provide competitive compensation, flexible contracts, and dedicated assistance. So join our community of nurses and allied health professionals and start your next adventure today. Visit our website at travelnursesinc.com for more information.
Looking for a full court dining experience? Dribble over to Southland Casino Hotel, your ultimate gaming oasis in West Memphis. As a proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies, we're inviting you to savor the flavors at our 8 incredible dining venues. Ignite Steakhouse is where culinary excellence gets grilled. Indulge in charcoal grilled steaks and farm-to-table favorites, perfectly paired with wine or handcrafted cocktails. Enjoy an all-access buffet experience at the kitchens, or revel in comfort food and Southern classics at the Fry House. If casual is more your thing, sample the innovative fare at Seasons Cafe, while Chairman's Bar and Charred Oak Bourbon Bar serve up cocktails and live concerts every week. For those on the go, The Grind is your one-stop coffee shop with gourmet brews and grab-and-go goodies. And of course, we can't forget the Sports Bar and Grill, where you can catch all the Grizzlies action with the best pub fare in town. At Southland Casino Hotel, we've got the perfect dining experience for you, so come on down and ignite your taste buds today.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
I moved, I have a house now, house maintenance.
That's true.
Homeowners Association.
Homeowners Association.
That was what your mom wanted to talk to me about. She was so proud that not only are you on the Homeowner Association, that you go to the meetings and know every issue.
We've had speed bump problems.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I've cuddled a time or two in my life.
We are the right.
I've cuddled too.
I've cuddled a time or two in my
heights,
life.
We're the right. Just
Yeah,
size
and
in
I think sometimes you're cuddling and you're like, man, I don't know if this fits the right way.
Or I was with someone who had like a baseball injury once, and so like his arm couldn't handle, like he physically couldn't.
He had to say, I would love to cuddle you, but I tore my
can't.
rotator cuff.
I physically cannot.
What a wild deal.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. It is Thursday. That means it is time to catch up with the queen of all sports, the queen of Nashville and beyond, Teresa Walker of the Associated Press. Teresa, are you alive? That's the question we always ask the busiest woman in the world.
I am struggling to wake up, and I will be consuming mass quantities of caffeine shortly because, yes, it's one of those things that I am grateful that Predators are playing Game 6 tomorrow night, trying to force only the 4th Game 7 in their franchise history. And it's one of those where you kind of, you know how it is when you're staying up late. It's tough to break that habit, even when you know you've got to get up early the next morning. And so, yeah, I didn't get to bed till about 12:30 last night. And then it's one of those, watch the clock. I can't sleep. I probably had a little too much, Have you seen Skittles? Has got these little Skittles now. And
yes, you've mentioned the little
Skittles. You mentioned them and you fed us the little Skittles.
Okay, but Teresa, you want to know what I had last night?
What?
Nerd clusters. For the first time, my husband made me a candy salad. Yes, it was a salad. It was just a candy salad. This is a trend on TikTok where they like make candy salads and put them in this big, either like a giant mason jar type thing or a bowl or whatever it is. And everyone contributes different kinds of candy. And next thing you know, it's mix it all together and it's a magical solution of nothing but sugar. Nerd clusters were in them. I've wanted to try the nerd clusters. I tried nerd ropes when I was a kid, and I loved nerd ropes. But may I suggest with your mini Skittles, a nerd cluster or two, if you will.
I've not had nerds. See, I know. I'm. Skittles have been my kind of go-to. That and lemon heads for much of my life.
I love a lemon head.
Hey. I was a kid in Chicago. You could go get a small box for 5 cents at the corner store. And I mean, Ferrero Pan, they were made in Chicago. So it's like, it was my go-to thing for a nickel. The little box, it was perfection.
And now with inflation, it's $5.30.
No, it's legit 25 cents now. Like, I miss the penny candies, the nickel candies. Because you could get those, you could get dots, you could get the now laters, you could get like an individual now later, a Jolly Rancher. Go in with $1 and you come out with 15 different little pieces of candy. I miss that. Thanks, Obama.
Now or laters, man. Now see that, oh man. Get me some watermelon and grape now or laters. And I'm just, I'll go off and play in the corner for the rest of the day.
I'm a Laffy Taffy fan. Also, there were these like miniature Starbursts. They're not in the squares. They're like crunched down Starbursts, and they're only the red ones, so pink and red. So the two best flavors of Starburst. Those were good. There were Sour Patch Kids. There were the Rainbow Ropes with like the sweet and sour powder on them.
But how much were those?
I don't know. Chris brought it from work.
Oh,
what a nice man.
Because he works with the children.
He works with children.
Is he stealing the candy?
What do you do with children? Jack them up on sugar.
I know. Yeah, and then let their parents have them. So parents are very happy when their kids are all hopped up on the sugar.
Right. Well, I was hopped up on the sugar last night. I had a little bit of trouble falling asleep, so I feel you there.
Same.
But
yes,
we haven't spoken to you since the NFL draft. We talked to you a week ago this morning, was going into the draft and trying to predict what the Tennessee Titans would do. Do you think it's fair to call it a polarizing draft for the Titans, Teresa? Because I have seen some outlets give them passing with flying colors grades. I have seen other outlets put them at the bottom of the draft class rankings. And your first round pick was J.C. Latham, but then 5 of their 7 picks are on the defensive side of the ball. Where do you stand in how the Titans fared last Thursday or over the weekend?
I think they filled needs, okay? And that's the thing. This team, with the last 2 years and all the injuries, they can't fix everything and fill everything in one off season. But they took a big step toward doing the thing that they had to, and that's protect Will Levis. You don't know what you've got in this young man. It's promising. I love some of the way too early drafts. Having them in, picking 5th or maybe trading up. One of my colleagues had them trading up based on the BetMGM draft rankings for next year and saying they were going to take a quarterback and go get Carson Beck at Georgia. I'm sorry, J.C. Latham at Alabama. This man is massive, okay? Samaria Terry, if you remember from Memphis, she's now here in Nashville. She did an interview with him on Friday and did a picture, and I shared that, where she put her hand up against J.C. Latham. 11-inch hands. This man is a physical beast, and apparently was one of the top scorers physical strength-wise down at Alabama. And they put out some big, powerful men down there, and they're going to put him at left tackle with Bill Callahan on the offensive line. And next to they took a left guard last year, Peter Skoronski at number 11, and then they signed Lloyd Cushenberry as a new center. So it's like from the middle to the left, they think they have hopefully fixed an offensive line that gave up 64 sacks last year. So I like it. I mean, big, monstrous man. And then their second pick was T'Vondre Sweat from Texas. I mean, between the two of them, it's like combined 700 pounds of human beings. And the defensive coordinator was like, you build in the trenches. You got to control there. And J.C. Latham is going to help them protect Will Levis, open up. Remember, Tony Pollard signed with the Titans. Yep. He is now in the backfield with Tyjae Spears. And so, it's going to give Will Levis an extra second to find DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and they're bringing in Tyler Boyd, who he knows very well from Cincinnati, Brian Callahan, that is, the new coach. So it's like, they had to fix the offensive line. J.C. Latham, offensive line isn't sexy. Everybody wants wide receivers because they're the skill players. But if your quarterback is on his back, he doesn't have time to find those guys.
Very sexy, because you know what they say about guys with big hands, Teresa. they have the ability to, even though they played primarily right tackle in college, make the transition to left tackle in the NFL. I am curious what the conversation has been. Yes, that's the cliche.
Yes, guys with big hands can play left tackle.
Can
absolutely.
change it up.
Can we throw the B-roll back up, Jacob? What's not sexy about a grown man moving another grown? Look at this. This is all. Look how far he's pushing these people. Look at that. That's 12 yards down the field.
That's ballet.
I'm so turned on right now watching these highlights. We take them off. Take it off the screen before I do. Look at that. That is sexy. He's planting people on their asses. Like, that is sexy to me. That is.
I agree. Can we all make a movement to make offensive line talk sexy again? Like, it really is.
I'm with you, CJ and Jess, because that's the thing. He's a physical wall there, pancaking guys. He's like a trailer,
goosebumps,
just moving these people down the field, and he's got the long arms. That was the knock against Peter Skoronski last year, right? That
he had the tiny arms.
He had tiny arms.
Teeny
That's not a problem with J.C. Latham, okay? And for all the talk about, the other thing that drove me nuts is, like, you can't play left tackle. It's so tough. No, it's literally switching from one butt cheek to the other butt cheek. And with those hands and with those arms, he's just going to get his hands on people and move them into next year. What's not sexy about that?
On that last
Left cheek,
highlight,
right
if you're
cheek.
not
It's a quick switch.
Come on, man. If you're not watching, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not watching the show. On one of these highlights, he's pass protecting, and we all know you slide back in pass protection, and then he just plants his foot and stops. Stops himself, stops the oncoming defensive end, says, nope, this is the pocket now. Stop moving, and he just stops an All-American. What are we? This is sick. Look at him just throwing Michigan men around. Nobody throws Michigan men around like that. He's doing it. That's sexy as hell to me. And that's the most attractive thing I've seen this morning. And I woke up next to the love of my life this morning. I think that's my new love of my life.
That's so sweet. I'm sure your wife is so thrilled for your love comparisons, your sex comparisons to be made on the offensive line. But they should be. And like you said, Teresa, two big guys between their first-round pick with J.C. Latham and then taking defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat out of Texas. He was the second biggest player to play at Texas in the last decade, and he is someone who made such an impact. And also, from just like a cool story standpoint, he wears a Flava Flav chain, which I really enjoyed learning last college football season, and it has pictures of his mom and his grandma on the back, and it's so sweet. But there was some controversy around him. He got a DUI leading up to the NFL draft. What did you hear from the Titans in regards to their confidence in that being something that he can learn from and move on from and not make similar mistakes?
Well, they did a lot of homework, because guess what? As soon as he bonded out, first team he visited was the Tennessee Titans. And they sat and talked with him. And then the GM, assistant GM, Teresa Walker, the defensive line coach, they went down to his hometown, Huntsville, Texas, and they talked to his grandmother and his family. And they made it clear to him that it's like, we're looking at you at a big spot. This is not acceptable. And what kind of human being are you, and how out of character was it? So they did their homework. They went down there, and the last time there was a player that they had questions with that they took high, some guy named Jeffrey Simmons, who's now an all-pro defensive lineman for them, and different situations in that Jeffrey's issue was, a few years before that, involved a girl. He was defending family. In this case, this was something where T'Vondre Sweat, DWI. And I'll say this, when you walk into the Titans facility, there's information about doing, ride programs everywhere. So I'm sure that has been made very clear that shouldn't be a problem here, that if you do drink, these are big men. They have, Taco Thursdays, margaritas and stuff, they're going to go drink. So they did their homework. He's a huge, massive human being. Jeffrey Simmons was probably the happiest human to hear this pick, because he's going to be there playing nose tackle, helping replace Tier Tart, Danico Autry, who's now with the Houston Texans, left in free agency. So they've got two big men to help them rebuild in the trenches, and it's going to free up Harold Landry, Arden Key, and it's going to make the job of a rebuilt secondary so much easier because let's not forget they've got L'Jarius Sneed that they traded for there. They've got Chidobe Awuzie, who they signed from Cincinnati. They also went and drafted. I tell you, you look at the draft film of everybody that they took. Now, 5 of their 7 picks were on the defensive side of the ball. Last year, all 6 were on offense. And on defense, the kid they took from Miami, like a heat-seeking missile. You want to fall in love with tape? Somebody put some of that tape up, and he could be standing from here and 5 feet away, somehow, boom, blowing up people. And that's what football is still about at this point. And one of the guys they took, wide receiver, teammates, roommates with Tyjae Spears at Tulane. And, he's a receiver, and he's going to help them with the new kickoff return rules. So we'll see what he can do there. But it's like aggressiveness. I was asked by somebody earlier this week, what's one word I would use to describe this draft class? Aggressive. From that first pick, getting hands on you and planting you in the ground. And the same with their second pick and Sweat. And that the Miami kid, his dad played 8 years in the NFL, and he's kind of a tweener. They listed him as a safety at Miami, but he's probably going to be a linebacker, special teamer for the Titans. Planting people, hitting people, and speed. Another thing that has been missing from this Titans team because of the injuries over the last 3 seasons. So I think that, and shoot, like Moran Carthon made very clear Saturday night, player acquisition is not over because they only had 7 draft picks. They still need to go get some more people. The rookie minicamp is next weekend, and we'll see what they've got. But they're going to keep adding some guys. And if for everybody writing off the Titans, let me remind you, a year ago, the Houston Texans picked 2nd overall and were last in the AFC South the year before, won the division. Worst to first happens every single year in the NFL. So that's all it takes. Making the right choices, having the right coaches, and doing the right things. Boom. There you go. And getting to the playoffs. What hurts in Memphis right now? Not being in the playoffs. That's all that matters. Get in and see what happens.
And it's like this is how I would build football teams from the trenches back, right? I would start along the offensive line and defensive line, get somebody who can protect and run block, and then get a defensive lineman who can be disruptive. And it feels like the Titans did that with their first 2 picks. And you brought it up, Teresa, with the Texans. What do the Texans have? Texans have a star quarterback. What do the Jaguars have? They have a good quarterback. What do the Colts have? They have Anthony Richardson. We're going to figure out about him, but he is an athletic, physical specimen of a quarterback that reminds you of some of the great, bigger quarterbacks that have come through and played in the NFL. You have to have somebody who can be disruptive in the run game and go out there and get pressure on those 3. And with Simmons on the outside and him on the inside, I think I really like, especially the first 2 picks for the Titans. I love what the Titans have done in this draft. Is there somebody that you like the most, or somebody that stands out the most to you from this draft class for the Titans?
Well, real quick aside, Sweat, he has an actual former teammate from Texas who's already on the Titans, Keandre Coburn, who is a defensive lineman. So that'll help ease his transition into that locker room. But their their 4th round pick, because they didn't have a 3rd rounder, a North Carolina linebacker, Cedric Gray. And he is a guy that he wants to be the guy wearing the green dot. And the green dot is the communicator helmet for the defense. And the funny thing is, as soon as he said, yeah, I want it, I want to take it, I'll be that guy for you, because they needed to replace Azeez Al-Shaair, another guy who left in free agency. He's in Houston, and they needed somebody who was going to wear the dot, who's going to help settle that defense. Cedric Gray is a guy who is on the field, side-to-side speed, and he is a guy who can tackle. He can play the run, he can play the pass, a 3-down linebacker. And the funny thing is, apparently Monty Hooker heard that talk about wearing the green dot, and he's like, hey, he called Rand Carthon and said, don't y'all forget about me. I've been here. I'm a veteran. I'm a safety. I want to be in that consideration for wearing the green dot. But Cedric Gray is a guy that, in this transfer portal age, instead of going somewhere else where maybe he could have a better fit, chase a title, he chose to stay at North Carolina to try to build that program. So showed loyalty, showed the ability to tackle. And I love the tape that you're showing on this guy because he just makes plays. And that's something that this Titans defense absolutely needs because they need to get better everywhere. And, you know, linebacker, he's part of the front seven. I count that as almost in the trenches because behind Devondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons, you need somebody cleaning up and making the tackles. Cedric Gray is going to be one of those guys.
And he's a missile.
Yeah,
he's a bleeping missile. Just downhill coming to hit something.
Yes. Speed and power. That's what you need. That's what they got a lot of in this draft.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people call him one of the steals of the draft. Teresa, when you reflect on the draft in its totality, is there a pick either good or bad that first comes to your mind from one of the other teams around the league where you're looking back and either thinking to yourself, oh, maybe that was a better pick than I thought in the moment, or I still cannot make sense of what this team was thinking?
I still can't make sense of why Atlanta took a quarterback when they signed Kirk Cousins to $100 million.
I was really just setting you up for that.
I know. And Atlanta social media team, you have to figure out how to spell that young man's last name.
Wait, was that true? Was that true? Wait, was that, because I didn't send it in. Was that true?
My son showed it to me, and I had seen it earlier. I didn't chase the line to see if it was their social media team, but I'm just going to say spelling matters, and never so much as when you have a quarterback whose name ends in an X.
Big Penix energy. Please.
We just talked about you doing better, Jessica.
I'm sorry. We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons social media team doing better. I can't be my best self.
Sugar, CJ.
I can't be my best self if they are going to lead me down the dark corners of that part of my brain. My apologies. My apologies. I couldn't believe that was real either. But between that and Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos, future Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, those were the ones that left me scratching my head.
I'm sorry, but the Denver pick, no offense, Memphis Tiger fans, but it leaves me thinking Paxton Lynch energy.
Big.
I'm sorry.
Big Penix energy, big Paxton Lynch energy.
Big Lynch energy.
Channeling. CJ. Teresa, thank you, as always, for joining us on this beautiful Thursday. Enjoy. We'll see if the Preds get a win tomorrow, can keep this season alive, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Bye. That was Teresa Walker. You can find her on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker.
Speaking of soul sucking, they sucked the soul out of the Falcons fan base with that Penix pick.
They did.
Mm-hmm. Why do you get to say what you say and I don't get to say what I say?
We're taking a break. We're coming back. We're going to be drafting best
say what you want to say.
Vacation spots in the U.S.
I'd rather keep doing this.
I say sucking souls, I think about it from a Dementor standpoint. I think about literally the essence of your being destroyed. So yes, Falcons fan souls were sucked. But anytime you use the word, see, the problem is in the word suck, but you can see, now we're going down too far, and
we're not going too far. Explain yourself.
I'm going to roll myself into a grave.
No,
I
you're
have
not.
A straw. What are you doing when you are drinking out of a straw?
You're drinking.
You
don't say, hey, sweet.
Would you rather have me say they slurped the souls? That's stupid.
Nobody says, hey, I'm going to suck my drink out of this straw. Nobody says that. We don't talk about it. Not technically. When's the last time you said, hey, Chris, give me a straw. I need to suck my drink.
I never do.
Let me.
Okay.
When we talk about sucking, what are we more than likely almost always talking about as grown-ups?
Yes, I understand where you're going with this. We're drafting best U.S. vacation
I think we should draft innuendos.
After a quick break. I think we should draft Candy next week after our little Candy talk. But Like, not chocolate candies.
Oh, boo.
Well, we could do chocolate candies,
So
too.
you're segregating the candy?
Yeah.
You're segregating the candy?
Random things being
We're
segregated.
going to put the brown candy over here and the chocolate complected candy over here?
Yesterday it was meats versus non-meats. Today it is what do you call what's the word for non-chocolate candy? Like gummy candies?
Hard candy, gummy candy.
Hard candy, gummy candy. But like a nerd cluster isn't a gummy candy.
It's a hard candy.
It's a nerd cluster. It's a cluster candy.
I think we would consider that a hard candy. If it crunches when you bite into it, it's a hard candy.
All right, I'll think about it. We're drafting when we come back.
Maybe
Best vacation spots in the US of A. Tell us your favorites in the chat. And like today's show on YouTube. And subscribe to Grind City Media on YouTube. You know the drill. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Going someplace where I can slurp a martini.
Something you'll never do. I turn around and I level you. No motivation is needed. Look, I put myself on the pedestal. This is incredible.
Take your fandom to the next level with the official Grizzlies app. Go all access and behind the scenes.
It's got to be heavy defense. That's where it starts for us.
Personalized to where you are and who you are. Get easy access to ticketing, the game day guide, and your own app customization right at your fingertips. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today.
Let's face it. There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
It's more fun to be there live to see the Memphis Grizzlies hit the court all season long. From the electricity in FedEx Forum to the highlight reel plays, there's nothing quite like Grizzlies basketball. As the official marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies, Ticketmaster gets you in with a huge selection of seats. So get off the couch and into the stands while you still can. Score tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go to business and they can't.
All new material.
They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out.
Nate Bargatze. Friday, May 31st, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents. Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
Lindsey Harding has gotten a chance to interview for the Charlotte Hornets vacancy.
She's proven that she could coach on the men's side. She's done a fantastic job and got this G League opportunity and was Coach of the Year. This is fantastic for women's basketball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Thank you so much for that quick work of a lower third, everybody.
We should draft best suckers.
No, we should blow pops.
Tootsie Pops.
Nothing but you want to know what I had yesterday? Our lovely social media team member Anna has a bowl full of the caramel apple pops, where it's like the green apple base with the caramel on top. I lost one of my teeth that way when I was a kid.
Oh, that's an
Like a
easy
baby
way to
tooth.
lose baby teeth.
Yeah, it was
is
great.
by-
I think I was trying.
with a sucker. Yep, that's
Those
why
are
we
good.
get them.
I'm not a huge Dum Dums fan.
Got in trouble for Dum Dums in high school.
Really?
We did a sports camp, and the winner of the tennis portion of the camp, daily got rewarded a Dum Dum. And the tennis coach would call them Dum Dum winners. And so one of the kids went back home. Mom was like, "Hey, how was camp?" And he was like, "Great. What did you do?" "I'm a Dum Dum champion." And she's like, "Wait, what?" And she thought we were calling her child dumb. And so we had to stop calling them Dum Dum champions.
What
we
do you
had
call
to
them? Smart Smarts?
I don't know.
Did you give them Smarties instead of Dum Dums?
No, we kept giving them Dum Dums. Kept giving them Dum Dums.
When's the last time you went to a bank?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never go to the bank, but I went to the bank for the first time in a long time because I had a check that wouldn't
Take a picture,
digitally
yeah.
work, and they had no Dum Dums. Like the best part of going to the bank as a kid was they always had Dum Dums.
So we would have.
We used to be a proper country.
The bank lollipops. You've unlocked a memory now.
Bank lollipops
They
and hard
had-
candies.
because they had it was a lollipop, but
Yes.
it was the base of it was almost like a ring that you could put on. Like ours were twisted.
Yes.
And so those were the ones you get. And if you were a good, quiet child while your parents
got-
were doing the
yes.
bank stuff, the bank teller would be like, "Oh, your child's so sweet. Here you go, have a lollipop."
Yes.
Ring pops.
That's my number one.
Ring pops.
I love a ring pop.
Ring pop.
There's something about that flavor profile if we're
Mhm.
really digging into the
And the way that it's made, right?
Mhm.
That is the way that it's
like
cut.
glassy.
Yeah.
There's something elegant about a ring pop.
There is.
Really?
That there is.
Like it's not your basic sucker.
No.
It's
No.
you want to take your sweet time.
You do want to take your sweet time sucking on that.
Because sometimes you get a sucker that you just bite it. Like you get so frustrated with it.
Oh, no, I'm
that you
not.
end up just biting into the
That's
sucker
not-
like a psychopath.
That's not how I suck. I legit suck and
just
lick.
wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I lick around
Okay,
it. Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
We
What-
have a draft to do.
Oh,
What
we,
were you
are
gonna
we not
ask?
doing one?
No.
Where are vampires
There's-
at on this sucker?
Oh,
Because they're
yeah.
suckers.
They are.
They are.
Technically.
Technically,
We
that's
can't
what they
have
do.
vampire erasure when their entire existence
It's
is
sucking
based on
blood.
I want to suck your blood.
Yeah.
Why did we make all vampires with that accent?
Because Eastern Europeans are scary and mysterious.
Okay.
And that's where Transylvania is supposed to be from. Again,
Interesting.
we've been.
I guess not all vampires, because then we got the Twilight series, and there's just
It's-
straight Americana of the Cullen
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
He glistens, though.
Is that what they call it?
They
Glisten or glow?
sparkle.
Oh, sparkle. That's
like
what
when
it is.
when
Yep.
sunlight hits them, they
Sparkle.
sparkle.
I'm unaware of. I've never seen that at all. Never seen it. Never
Summer
read the
mov-
book.
Sounds like a summer
That- it
movie
does.
series
It
potential to
does.
me.
It
I
does.
just saw somebody post that if you are an adult and you watch Shrek and you think it's still a good movie, there's something wrong with your eyeballs.
Oh,
to
you're
which
an
I
idiot.
say blasphemy,
You're an
and I
idiot.
will blind myself. But I really do think that Shrek might be our
Can we draft? can we-
foray.
okay, we don't. We've been talking about maybe drafting the worst of things.
Yeah.
If we draft worst suckers of all time.
No.
Because there was this one time, this one chick I know
No, stop.
got
I don't
bit
know
by
where
a
you're- yeah, I knew
mosquito,
you were going
and
with
that's
that.
a terrible sucker right there.
You want to know what's the weirdest thing that you?
Can suck on?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, never mind. I got that wrong. I was gonna say if you get stung by a jellyfish, but you don't suck that, you pee on it.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to pee on it either. Are you just walking around the beaches peeing on people?
No, but I had a friend who got stung by a jellyfish, and
not
she
suppo-
came back and told our entire elementary school class
You're
that
not
her dad
supposed to-
so valiantly saved her life by peeing on her leg.
You're not supposed to pee on jellyfish stings. That's an old
Since
wives'
when?
tale.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
When did
sure.
you last get stung by a jellyfish and
Never.
try to survive without peeing on it?
Never.
I think jellyfish are some of the scariest creatures on Earth.
Oh, they're terrifying.
Not on Earth, like below the depths.
They're terrifying.
Like the ones that light up and have the.
Because they're massive.
Yeah,
we
no.
don't understand.
We don't understand jelly. We see these, like, little
deep,
jellies.
Once you get deep, those joints are
Yeah.
huge.
And with like the long tentacle
Yes.
situation. Yeah.
All right, what are we
All
drafting
right.
today?
We're drafting best vacation spots, U.S. edition. So we have limited this to the best vacation spots in the United States of America. We will be drafting the cities and places that we would most like to go to. Do we get a wheel? Do we get a wheel? Do we get a coin flip? Oh, we get a duck race. It's my favorite kind of first pick. I feel like the first pick is really important.
Yeah, I'm out there by nose. I'm out there by nose. Kentucky Derby. Shout out to the Derby. I'm out there by nose.
Derby weekend, baby.
Jessica Drell and CJ's leading. Start to believe it. Finish. Let's go.
I hate the duck race. I always lose.
We need to do more duck races then. All right. I tried to break this down by category. If I'm going on vacation and I just want to go somewhere and see a bunch of different attractions and do a bunch of different things, I think the best city for that, and that's no knock to anybody else, I think I'm going to do that in D.C. Rumor has it that you could do 5 minutes at every free thing in D.C., and it would take you roughly 35, 40 years to do it. Give me D.C. Let's go.
Not with your number one pick?
My number one pick, D.C.
The nation's capital?
Yes.
Okay, what's the number one thing that you want to see in D.C. on a trip?
The number one thing I would do in D.C., I still haven't been to the National Museum of African American History.
Okay.
Last time we went to D.C., it had just opened. The lines were ridiculous. We couldn't even get like wait lists or anything like that. Do that. You could do all of the monuments right there. You can do the mall outside. You could do the White House, obviously, the Capitol building, what's the
Pentagon.
The Pentagon. You could do
The Washington Monument.
I said the monuments. Oh yeah, the stuff is happening outside. We went to Anacostia and we did Frederick Douglass's house, which was incredible. They have a museum there of African American achievements during the Civil War, which was incredible. Ben's Chili Bowl, shout out to Ben's Chili Bowl right there. Howard is also there, and I love walking around HBCU campuses. Take me back to the good old days. Like, there's a ton of stuff to do there. We didn't even mention all of the Smithsonians are there. Like the Smithsonian's, that's great. I think there's a National Spy Museum, Aerospace Museum. Like there's
a spy museum.
There's a ton of stuff to do in DC.
The Lincoln Theater.
Yes. Oh,
people are just dying to get into there.
Somebody died in there.
It's not called the Lincoln Theater. What is it?
I don't know what the theater is, but where Lincoln got assassinated.
It the Booth Theater, and that would be inappropriate as well.
Where Booth popped my man in the head.
They filmed The Exorcist at Georgetown.
Yeah. I hear this. Thank you, Jacob, for reminding me. The best time to go is January. You can go to the Capitol. They're real welcoming up there. Maybe January 6th. If you've got
Jacob, why would you egg him in that direction? I cannot believe you took Washington, D.C. with the number one pick. I thought getting the first pick was really important.
Am
in
I
this
supposed
draft.
to take New York?
No, there is one clear answer
What's
for
the
the
clear
number
answer?
one U.S. vacation city, and it is Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh!
It's Hawaii. Period.
See,
Enough said.
I thought I could get that.
You
thought I could
get
that.
The glorious beaches of Honolulu, Honolulu City Lights, Diamond Head in the distance. You can hike up Diamond Head. You could take a little trip to other beaches, get in your car when you drive around and you see where they filmed Jurassic Park and you're like, oh my God, this is the most stunning place in the universe. There's great shopping in Hawaii. There's great food in Hawaii. There's great entertainment in Hawaii, all to be enjoyed respectfully, of course. It's Hawaii. Duh.
From a chill standpoint, there's nothing better than Honolulu. When I'm on vacation, though, and see, we're different on vacation. I don't want to chill. I want to do stuff.
Go on a hike.
I need to do more than that.
Go snorkeling at Hanamana Bay.
I need to do more than that.
Go to the Punch Bowl.
I swam with the sea turtles twice.
Exactly.
It's great. It's a very because Hawaii's just a chill place. Just culturally, they're chill, very carefree. It is a great place to go and visit. If I valued chilling more than doing stuff, I'd absolutely would have taken Honolulu first. But that's a damn good pick. It's on my list. I was going to try and get it second. I thought I could sneak and get it because I thought you were going to get.
Are you going to steal mine?
Yeah, I'm gonna take New York.
Oh,
give me
no.
New York City. You should have took it. Speaking of doing stuff, can I interest you in the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Can I interest you in Times Square?
No.
No?
That's hell on earth.
Isn't that right next door to Broadway, though?
Yeah, I go there. I go either on 8th or 6th, and I
Okay.
avoid Times Square. But
Okay.
sure.
What about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? Incredible. Ride the subway with real New Yorkers? Like, come on, man. Give me NYC number 2.
Central Park, the theater district, all the food, all the different cultures you can experience, all the pigeons who may or may not poop on your
Did we
head.
say Central Park?
Yeah, I said Central
Okay.
Park.
What's the museum up there?
Which one? Natural History Museum,
Natural
Museum of
History
Modern
Museum.
Art, the Met.
Oh, the Met. Oh, give me NYC.
NYC.
You should have took it. That's what I thought you were taking first.
It's Hawaii.
My fault.
Come on.
You got
it's
it.
Hawaii. All right. Well, now I'm in a bit of a pickle.
Mm.
With my number 2 pick, I am going to take Los Angeles, California. Look to my right, and I'll see the Hollywood sign. You want beaches? You can go to the beach. You want a place to hike? There are plenty of hiking trails. You can go to Griffith Observatory and see the stars. Maybe tell your future husband that you love them there for the first time.
Wait, did you do that?
Hell yeah.
Oh.
That was the place of our love.
Oh.
He said, I love you, Jessica Benson. And I said, I love you, Chris Luther. And here we are today. And then we went and got pie. And there is so much entertainment, from theater to comedy to dance to just a hub of entertaining things being made, music. You can go to a show at the Hollywood Bowl. You can go to the greatest campus on earth, the University of Southern California. You can go to Malibu. You can go to Santa Monica. You can go to Manhattan Beach. You can rent bikes. You can walk. You can sit in traffic for 3.5 hours. But once you get to your destination, wherever it may be, and the fun adjacents of Los Angeles, you can take a quick drive to Anaheim, and you could go to Disneyland.
Oh, that
And
doesn't
I
count.
think
No. You're not getting this place and surrounding areas.
Okay, fine.
If
then
you
I'll
want to
take
go to
Fine.
Anaheim, go to Anaheim.
Fine. Universal Studios.
Is that in LA
Hollywood
proper?
Is in LA
Okay,
proper. It's
good.
in Hollywood.
All right.
And they have a Harry Potter world.
Okay.
And Universal Studios. Just don't go on the tram ride. It recently broke.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
Los Angeles. Thank you.
You're welcome.
West Coast represent thus far.
One of my favorite things to do on vacation is go to amusement parks. Because of that, you got to take Orlando. You got to take Orlando, Busch Garden. You've got Disney World, and what was the other one? What's the Universal? You got Universal, all right there, man. Give it to me, Orlando. We're gonna wild out with Mickey and them.
Orlando. It's a fun place.
SeaWorld is also there, and I love watching tortured whales. I love that.
SeaWorld makes me too sad. I've never been to SeaWorld, but I feel like I would be much too sad.
Does
PETA
PETA
owns
own it?
SeaWorld?
No way PETA owns SeaWorld.
No
Jacob's
way.
messing with
Jacob's
you.
a liar.
Also, I looked up the jellyfish thing. You're not supposed to pee on it. Does PETA own it? I thought that would be a made-up headline.
PETA held 163 shares of SeaWorld stock and has owned at least $2,000 worth of common stock for some time.
Oh. So they don't own it. They're just
PETA claims
stockholders.
victory after SeaWorld says no trainers riding atop whales.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good for them.
Orlando's a fun
Orlando.
place. Okay.
Orlando.
I am going to go.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's there for you. Come on.
Jacob said Birmingham.
Legion Field is historic. Iron City. Let's go. It's for you, man.
It's for me. What do you think is for me?
Birmingham.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Sorry. No disrespect to Birmingham. We all saw what happened to Charles Barkley this work with Galveston.
Mhm.
And then Galveston was really in my peripherals because the Jinx, the show about Robert Durst, the murderer, he was in Galveston. And so they spent a lot of time describing Galveston there. Anyway, I'm not taking Galveston. I'm going to take Glacier National Park, Montana.
Really deep cut.
Deep cut.
Going deep.
Have not been. It is on my bucket list of U.S.
Oh, if you haven't
places to
been,
go.
then how do you know it's a good place?
Because I've seen the pictures,
Okay.
and nothing looks more magical than Glacier National Park. Technically, the closest city is Columbia Falls, Montana. But you can hike, you can camp, you can fish, you can go down the Sun Road, which is one of my dreams. You can... Did I say bike? You can do everything. I have long gone back to this conversation that Chris and I had with somebody in Italy, where we were like, where do you want to go most in America? And they said that people in Europe always want to go to America for the national parks. And we never think about the national parks as our premier vacation destinations. We always pick the big cities. And I think we should focus more on the natural beauty of the United States of America. We have some of the most gorgeous national parks in the world. And if I was ranking mine, Glacier National Park would be at the top of my to-do list.
Grand Canyon National Park.
Zion.
I spent time in the Great Smoky Mountain Reserve.
Yes.
Like that's
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. That's a good pick.
Thank you.
That's a good pick. Not the one I thought you were going to take.
It's okay.
We're going to leave this one city off, and they're going to be mad.
Oh, no.
Give me New Orleans, though.
Oh.
Give me New Orleans. Just because of the food. The food in New Orleans is amazing, and I've got to get me, I think that the food in the Gulf seafood, be it New Orleans, Biloxi, Mobile, what have you, I think that is the best type of food in the United States. I love it. The etouffee, give it to me. Gumbo, yep. Gator, blackened or fried, please. I love the fried food and all of the food in New Orleans. Plus, it's such a cultural experience. The music that gets played down there, the way that we kick it on Bourbon Street. They've got what do they call them? Because they get mad when you call them streetcars. Don't call them trolleys. They get mad. They got streetcars that'll take you to all the places you want to get to, and you can go. Also, New Orleans got a casino that's not too far from Bourbon, and you can ride that damn streetcar from Bourbon all the way to the casino, and then boom, you could take it back and go to the French Quarter, eat, drink, have yourself a good time. And when I went, the drink prices were wonderful. I was drunk for a day and a half off of, for me, maybe $30.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Happens fast.
And quick. There's something they put in those drinks that's not liquor. It might be voodoo or something like that, but I love it. Give me New Orleans, number 4.
Good pick, good pick. With my number 4 pick, I am going to take Chicago, the Windy City. Amazing architecture, great art museum and the Art Institute, great sports. If you're looking to attend a sporting event in a city, I think about sitting in the bleachers at a Cubs game, or even going and watching newly minted number 1 pick and future quarterback of the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. But just has so much to do in that city. Great shopping. I believe it's the Magnificent Mile is what their primary shopping street is called, but it is right up there. You took New York from me. I've only been to Chicago a handful of times, but I know the weather can get a little dicey. Either it's too hot or it's too cold, but if you are there when it's beautiful and getting out around that lake path and either biking or walking that or going into the lake, I think Chicago is a criminally underrated U.S. city.
And it's massive. That's
huge.
Odd to say because it's 3rd largest, 4th largest. Like it's I think a top 5 city in size and population.
Yeah. Great bars.
Yeah.
They know how to drink there.
Yeah. I hadn't been to Chicago as a grown-up. I need to get up there as a grown-up. Last pick, right? Oh boy. I'm gonna do one of the stereotypically black cities. It's just is it Atlanta or Houston? Give me Houston.
No.
Give me Houston. Yes. Yes, have you kicked it in Houston for brunch?
Yes.
Brunch Sundays alone in Houston is worth it. Give me Houston just off the strength of brunch. Okay. Houston.
I would have taken Atlanta.
Peace up. A-Town down. You would have taken, you can still take Atlanta.
No.
Okay, all right.
I have a tough decision to make between what I consider my 2 homes outside of Memphis. I'm going to take Denver, Colorado. I'm going to take Denver, Colorado because there are so many great outdoor adventures you can go to. Great brewery city. You can go to the Chorus Brewery. You can go to Red Rocks Amphitheater, which I think just might be the best place to watch a live show in all of the US of A. You can go to the mountains. You can go to the Botanical Gardens. They have great zoo situations. The Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is my favorite zoo in the world. I don't know, haven't been to all of the world zoos, but the fact that you can see the Rocky Mountains from downtown Colorado, that skyscape is one of the most uniquely, beautifully situated cities in this country, and there is just so much you can do there.
And it was between that and Seattle. And Seattle has similar energy, but it's just Mount Rainier. Not just Mount Rainier, there's also like Mount Hood. But the whole Rocky Mountains are in the distance, and they're like right there. You can go hike Pikes Peak. You can do one of the 14ers. If you're not active, they have a great food scene. You can go to a great sporting event. I think Denver's a great vacation city. I might get flamed for that, but
Nobody took Vegas. Nobody took Miami. Nobody took Nashville. Nobody took Austin. Dallas in there also. Nobody took that.
I enjoyed
Nobody
Austin.
took the Bay.
I enjoy Las Vegas. Would have been a good vacation city.
That's the
Las
one I
Vegas
thought
is
you were going to
magical.
take. Is it magical? Is it the type of magic that we enjoy? I mean,
okay, here's my thing. When I sit outside of Las Vegas, I'm like, oh. And then when I'm in Las Vegas, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like the magic consumes you because it feels like you're just in a giant adult Disneyland. Like this cannot be a real place. This is a place constructed for fun, and that generally represents like a good vacation.
What I hear is you don't want to be in Vegas more than like 3 days because it does suck. Speaking of sucking souls, Vegas sucks your soul away.
Absolutely
and
does.
They do have
leave as a ghoul.
Yeah, and they do have great soul suckers also from what I hear in Vegas that you can get at if you want to. I took Washington D.C. 1, New York City 2, Orlando 3, New Orleans 4, Houston 5. Jessica?
I took Honolulu, Hawaii, Los Angeles, California, Glacier National Park, Montana, Chicago, and Denver. And I would be clear that with my Denver pick, it's because you can go everywhere surrounding Denver.
What do you mean everywhere surrounding Denver? Is it in Denver City proper? Because if it's not in Denver, we're not doing that.
No, I think we are.
What? No, we're not. Stop the music. Pick a new city, Jacob. She's got to pick a new city. It can't be Denver. Because you're not taking Denver and the surrounding areas.
You don't get the mountains with Denver?
No. You get to look at the mountains.
But
you don't get to go to the mountains.
You can't take a day trip to the mountains?
No. Take Denver off. No, we're not doing that. Because then I would have taken Dallas Fort Worth.
Red Rocks isn't.
Yeah, you can't do that. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Erase.
Yeah, get rid of Denver. What are you
Go
taking?
away.
Oh, gosh, why are you making Jacob's job so difficult today? Get your girl, Jacob.
I got blinded by my old home.
Okay, you want to go home sometimes.
I was looking through it with altitude-colored glasses.
You don't get to say, give me Nashville and take Smyrna and Murfreesboro on them.
I
no.
want Smyrna and Murfreesboro.
Well, take Smyrna then.
I don't want that.
Take Murfreesboro. There's stuff to do in Murfreesboro. MTSU is there. Toots, good food, good fun is there.
Avoid it.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. Give me ultimate glamour city, Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Miami.
All right.
Good clubs.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, big club gal.
I see.
Great food.
Yep.
Good beaches.
Yep. And good beaches.
And good beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Great art, like cool little artsy scene.
Mm.
Good shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I really flubbed my fifth.
Jessica. Yes, you did, because you were trying to take Denver and everything around Denver.
Well, that's how I feel about, I would take Seattle, but included in Seattle, I would want Mount Rainier National Park. But that doesn't count.
No.
But it's within, I think if something is under an hour from the city that you're in.
An hour?
An hour.
No. Everything I took is popping off in the damn city. Statue of Liberty in New York City. Martin Luther King Jr. Monument in D.C.
New York is the most walkable city in the world. D.C. is a walkable city.
Yes,
Chicago is a walkable city.
That's important to me.
Los Angeles is a drivable city.
Is it druggable?
Drivable.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it is, but I didn't know if you were taking it for that reason.
If we're drafting druggable, I would win the druggable city.
You would?
No, I don't think so, actually.
Miami and Chicago
Who's
and
doing
LA?
the drugs in Glacier National Park, okay?
Are they not tripping acid from what I hear up there?
Mushrooms, I feel
Shrooms?
like.
Okay.
Taking a nice big look at the big sky. Miami instead of Denver. All right. Let's go travel. Let's go somewhere.
Let's do it.
Memphis, great underrated vacation city.
Okay, here you go.
It is. I would tell people to travel to Memphis.
Underrated vacation cities.
Okay.
What would you Memphis is one.
Memphis is definitely one.
Memphis is great. It's
Savannah, Georgia.
Yes.
Or so I've heard. That's on my list.
Charleston, South Carolina, Jacob. I think I enjoy St. Louis. And I'm not sure if St. Louis is underrated or not, but St. Louis is up there. Is Phoenix underrated, though? Jacob is saying Phoenix, and I'm not sure if Phoenix is underrated.
Are we counting Glendale and Phoenix? Or
No.
Exactly. I would take Scottsdale over Phoenix as a vacation city.
San Diego?
San Diego is a good city.
Okay.
I like San Diego is a good one. I on my short list was Napa because I like wine.
Pigeon Forge was on mine
Okay.
because of Dollywood.
Okay.
And the mountains.
Austin would be on mine after our little weekend trip to Austin.
That's not underrated.
I think it is.
Is Austin underrated?
I think so. Well,
no, I don't
I think
think
more
Austin
people
is
are
underrated.
moving to Austin than
visiting?
vacationing. Although bachelorette parties do, but like
Right.
Nashville, Austin, Las Vegas is kind of the holy trinity of the bachelorette universe. Any other underrated? Oh, I've heard Portland, Maine is absolutely stunning. I have a friend doing that this summer, and Chris always talks about it. He had an ex-girlfriend there.
Jacob, I'm not saying Boston.
Yeah, you can't say Boston.
They still got that old school racism.
And I wouldn't want to go to Philly necessarily on a vacation.
No.
I think I went to
shout out Kylie.
Philly once as a child.
Okay.
Those are all good.
Yeah. Baltimore.
Okay.
Baltimore's cool. We spent some time in Baltimore when we did our DC trip. Had a blast.
You want to know if I had money where I'd want to go? Newport, Rhode Island.
Huh. Why do you
I just
need
think
money
it
to go to
sounds
Newport?
Cool. It feels expensive. It feels difficult to get to. And like, what do you do except for look at mansions? Like the Newport Mansion. I don't know. I don't know what else one would do in New Orleans. Or not New Orleans. Newport, Rhode Island.
Is Martha's Vineyard a city?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Again.
But like we
if I had
actually
Brevin
need
money, Martha's Vineyard would be
But
solid.
Brevin has told us if we can get up there, we can stay with him.
Stay with him. So we do have that. Does help the vacation.
But it's like $5,000 to get up there a person.
Yeah, that's like Jackson Hole.
Yeah.
Cool place. Very hard to get to.
You did a vacation there, didn't it?
No, Megan and I went there on our
Was that not
Idaho
a vacation?
That was a work trip.
Oh,
Thank
my
you
fault.
very
I
much.
apologize. I thought you and Megan did the girls trip and left your boy at home.
No.
That's how
the
it was pitched to me.
people at Idaho and Potatoes brought
So
us
why
out
didn't
for
I
a
go?
work trip and drove us to Jackson
When
Hole
are we
so
going
that
to do a
could
work
see it.
trip? You and Megan did one. When are we going to do one?
I don't know. One
Okay.
of us has to love something as much as Megan loved potatoes. So start working on it.
Okay.
Where's the ring pop factory?
Let's get some sucking going.
Let's get it. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we will do some Theater Thursday movie news, theater news, because the Tony Award nominations came out this week. I'll talk a little bit about some of the shows that I saw when I was in New York, what I would recommend if anybody is going there this summer when we come back.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. That's why we're recruiting the best talent to help us develop the sustainable steel needed for today and tomorrow. Join us at the edge of the future. Visit www.bigriversteel.com/join to join our Dash team. That's www.bigriversteel.com/join to join our Dash team.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by April 30th. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
This week, we're looking at our favorite black sitcoms. Mike, what do you got on your list?
It starts off with A Different World,
Okay.
the show that we're talking about.
I don't know. When's the last time you watched A Different World? Find it, watch it with the family. It is a phenomenal show, still to this day. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go to business and they can't.
All new material.
They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out.
Nate Bargatze. Friday, May 31st, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
Let's talk about MVPs.
Let's do it. I went with the Joker.
Oh my God,
Nikola Jokic.
Nikola freaking Jokic.
Every time I watch him play, I am so impressed.
I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Everything he does works. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can drive, he can defend. Like, he can do everything.
He can lead the fast break, and he's like 7-1.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Before we get to Theater Thursday, what one thing would you tell a tourist to do in Memphis? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a part of Memphis. What part of town would you say, hey, go here and do this?
Oh, you know I'm a downtown stand till I die. Because if you're downtown, you can start your day by seeing the Peabody Ducks, which is just such a fun little kitschy thing that you can do. You can get great food down here. You can go to the National Civil Rights Museum, which anyone who rolls through Memphis should go to. You can get over to the Bass Pro Pyramid, which anyone who could visit Memphis should go to because it is the eighth wonder of the world. And you can go to the Tippity Toppity and see the views of the Mississippi. Now you can go to the new Tom Lee River Park and take a picnic down there, or just walk through the park, do whatever you want to do. And my like pro tip, my Memphis, like, I live here, this is what you should do, is that you should walk from Memphis to Arkansas on the Big River Crossing, because then you can say that you were in two states in one day, and that's one of my favorite little things to do. What would yours be?
I kick it in South Memphis.
Okay.
Stax Museum, and then food at the Four-Way. The food at the Four-Way is so good. So I would you could do that. Oh, we need to go, Jacob. Yeah, what's your schedule like today, Jacob? I'm done talking to you, Jessica. Jacob and I are finna figure out lunch.
Yeah, Lee had a good little itinerary in the chat. It said Central Barbecue, Civil Rights Museum, cocktail at 8th and Sand, and then Wiseacre. Highly recommend the Wiseacre stop along the way, or any of the breweries downtown. And you have to go through Beale Street. So yeah, you see all of the iconic things if you come through. You just don't get out to Graceland. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to come to Memphis and see Graceland. You can. I think it still drives more of Memphis's tourism than I even understand.
And it's my question is, eventually, don't these Elvis fans go away? Don't they die? Like, are they
That's
not?
What I
so then,
thought.
once that happens, what then happens? And I think Graceland, to their credit, has moved some towards being a venue type space. We did the art exhibit there. What's my man with one ear?
Van Gogh.
We did remember the Van Gogh
That's right,
art
the
exhibit
immersive thing.
Yeah, we did that, and I think they do more of those than we're aware of, and have various comedy shows and smaller musical acts come through.
I'll also be really interested how his granddaughter, Riley Keough, or however you pronounce her. Well, that's not how you pronounce her last name. But the girl who was in Daisy Jones and the Six, she's an actress. She seems to be carrying that torch forward. And I know they wanted to build on the momentum from the Elvis movie, even though that didn't do as well as some had hoped that it would. But Austin Butler, like, bringing Elvis to a next generation. The music is still there. So we'll see how that continues to carry over.
Our friend Kieran was in a movie at Graceland.
Christmas at Graceland.
And Christmas at Graceland, too.
And maybe we'll get Christmas at Graceland 3. I don't know. Mentioning Daisy Jones and the Six is like the perfect segue. And for our Grind City Media faithful, I know I talked a little bit about this on the Chris Vernon show yesterday, but the Tony Award nominations came out this week and they lined up perfectly with my trip to New York with my mom over the weekend. And if me and my mom are going to be in New York City together, we are absolutely going to see an absurd number of shows, even when we only had real plans to go to one show. We ended up seeing 3 shows in 2 days while we were in New York, which means I did my first ever Broadway doubleheader, which felt like real theater psychotic behavior. But we had a show at 2 p.m. on Saturday and a show at 7 p.m. on Saturday. And the show that we saw Saturday evening is a show called Stereophonic, which got 13 Tony nominations. It's the most nominated play in Broadway history. And it is a play about a band who is making a record over the course of the year. So even though it's a play, it has music in it. And they were nominated for Best Original Score, which is crazy for a play to be in that territory. And it stole a nomination. A lot of people thought, do you know who Ingrid Michaelson is?
No.
She's a singer-songwriter, famous. She did the score for The Notebook, the musical, and it got snubbed. And I'm sad for people who like The Notebook, but happy for Stereophonic because it is truly one of the best things that I have seen in recent years. And it would be my recommendation to anybody going to New York. It was one of the most fun nights I've had at the theater. It felt special. 5 of the 7 actors in it were nominated for Tony Awards. And one of the women in it, it was a bizarre experience. I went to summer drama school with her.
What?
Yes. And I did not know that she was in this show until I bought tickets. Someone had given me a rec. They were like, hey, all the artsy people are going to see this show. I think you would really enjoy it, because I was struggling to identify what I wanted to see outside of Jessica Lange in Mother Play, and she was iconic. But I opened like an article about the show, and the first person who pops up is this Juliana Canfield, who some people would know. She played Kendall Roy's assistant Jess in Secession. She's in the most recent season of American Horror Story, Delicate. And she and I were classmates at Yale School of Drama circa 2009. Then she like did Yale undergrad, and then she also did Yale grad school, and she's like really smart and was always going to be a star.
She's stolen your life. Yeah. That should have been you. She took your spot to Yale.
Shoulda, woulda. You know, but she, you know how you just meet someone at like summer programs or summer camp or through school, like undergrad, whatever, and you just meet someone and say, oh, that person's going to be a star. Like one of those people for me is Rachel Scott, who works for ABC News. She was 3 years younger than me at USC, and from the day she walked into the student newsroom at Annenberg, everyone was like, oh, this girl's going to be one of the greatest journalists of our generation.
Yeah,
and she is.
I know exactly what you, because like I played AAU basketball, and you
go.
And some of these OJ Mayo, 2 years, maybe 3 years younger than me, walked onto the court playing up. Was like, oh no. That dude is built different. Like he's different. Greg Oden, not Mike Conley. Greg Oden, Brandon Wright. There was a dude named Jamont Gordon who I thought was going to be a star. Like that, yes. So I get but it's easier to do with sports because physically you look a certain way.
There's such a difference.
And you can do different things. If you're dunking at 12, it's like, oh no, he's going to continue to grow and develop. He's going to be a problem when he's 18, 19 years old. Right? Yeah. I'm not sure what that looks like from a theater acting newsroom standpoint. Like, what about them made them stand out?
There's just like that star quality, and the rest of it, most of us were in this normal Yale drama. There's nothing normal about going to the Yale drama school for a summer. But there's the regular program, and then there's the Shakespeare program. And she was in the Shakespeare program, which felt like the advanced placement of the summer school
because you
situation.
have to be able to speak old English and memorize your lines, I guess. I don't know.
It's like capital T theater business. We're all like, yeah, Streetcar Named Desire. Yeah, The Crucible. Stella! I saw whatever, Proctor with the devil, Goody Proctor with the devil, and she's over here doing like, to be or not to be, like very, very official business. But it's been fun to watch her career take off, and then there she is popping up on a Broadway stage, and it was amazing, and it was so good. So that was my favorite thing that I saw. But the Tony Award nominations did come out, and the Alicia Keys musical, Hell's Kitchen, was the most nominated musical this year, and it got a Best Musical nod. And I've heard that if you love Alicia Keys music, you can have a good time there. The other Best New Musicals nominated were a show called Illinois, which is a dance show, The Outsiders, based on the S.E. Hinton book, Suffs, which
is a musical, and Water for Elephants, which is based on a book and a movie.
You tried to blow by SUFS. What is SUFS?
It's about the suffrage movement, the women's suffrage movement. It feels like very girl boss energy, and I don't want to take away from people who like that, but it's been highly criticized for being very white feminism musical, and something that maybe would have worked 10 years ago, circa Hamilton. Like, if you think about how Hamilton is still beloved by some, but it's lost some of its luster over the years, even though it's still one of the highest grossing shows on Broadway and does numbers every time it comes through any city that it's a part of. But this just doesn't have the same punch that maybe it at one point would have had. It erases some of the voices who were particularly left out of the original push towards the 19th Amendment? My brain is breaking. 19th Amendment, the women's right to vote, but it was the white woman's right to vote, right? Like, I don't think, when could black women vote in this country? Not till the
68?
late 60s? That's exactly. Yeah. So people thought that there could have been a more comprehensive musical done, and it's very like rah-rah.
So what's the difference in that and King Whatchamacallit's wives?
Huh?
What's the one with all the wives of that king dude?
Oh, 6.
Yes. What's the difference in that and 6?
Well, 6 is just a little rock musical. That's a fun, flashy, good time.
So is SUFS. So SUFS can't be that because of the erasure of the black women's voices.
I think they needed to include it more in the story, like to make it. I didn't see it, so I don't know the specificities.
If you've seen SUFS, somebody let me know what the deal is with SUFS.
People have been not as moved by it as perhaps they would want to be.
It's nominated, so
it is nominated. Okay. It was a weird year for Best New Musical. So much stuff comes from old stuff, be it The Outsiders or The Notebook or Water for Elephants, which does use puppeteering a la Lion King, and they do have an elephant, which is apparently pretty cool. But I think for me, like, the best revival of a musical is a more interesting category this year. Merrily We Roll Along, which I didn't see this time. I saw it when I was back in New York in November. Stars Daniel Radcliffe of Harry Potter fame. He very well could win his first Tony and solidify himself as like a true musical personality, which is crazy because he's Harry Potter, and now he's surged into this place in being like a really serious actor. So he's great in that. There's all sorts of famous people on Broadway right now. If you're like driven by names, Steve Carell is in a play called Uncle Vanya. Jeremy Strong from Secession, along with Michael Imperioli, who is in The Sopranos, is in a show called Enemy of the People. Rachel McAdams just made her Broadway debut, and somebody on opening night screamed, "I love you, Rachel McAdams!" And people are like, don't do that. The etiquette, I struggle with it.
It is etiquette, though. It is theater etiquette.
Has gotten a little weird.
You got to be stuffy.
But you don't. There has to be a mix, like, of not doing that. And Eddie Redmayne, who's in the Cabaret revival, someone like reached up his skirt in the show a couple weeks ago.
Wait, a fan?
Yes. So, like, you know how we've seen with musicians and people are throwing things on stage and just, like, decorum in public settings has gone down across the board. And when you talk about it in a Broadway sense, sometimes it comes across as like, oh, we want to keep it stuffy and gated. Like, no, I'm like anti-theater gatekeeping. I want everybody to enjoy the theater in the way that I do.
Yeah, but you can't be filling people up on stage.
You can't do that. And like in the middle of a show, it's a little inappropriate to yell like, "I love you, Rachel McAdams," when she's playing a part and she is like in the midst of her craft. It's different. It's just different than how you would handle a concert where you can scream and sing along and do whatever it may be. Different arenas, you know?
Okay. I don't want to push back too much on the decorum thing.
No, you can. I think it's an important conversation.
I think that is the theater more accessible to more different types of people now than it's ever been? Is that a fair thing to say?
But there's still so much room to grow.
But here's my thing. It's more accessible now than it's ever been to wider swaths of people, of different people from different backgrounds. And so if I'm accustomed to going to concerts, I might think it's okay to shout things out.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody didn't grow up going to theater. Jessica, believe it or not, I didn't grow up going to the theater a lot.
And most people didn't.
I went to my first Broadway type show. I was 24, 25. Yeah. My mom took us to see The Lion King, and that was the first one I've been to. So everybody might not be versed in the same way that others are. And hey, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. I think there's That is the issue more so than decorum being down.
And it's also a weird mix because I love the energy of a show. Like when we went to Cabaret and we were up in the back of the mezzanine because it's impossible to get a good ticket to that show without selling your arm. The energy from the crowd was like screaming and so excited. And like, I love that. Like it's one thing like at the beginning or at the end of an act or at the end of the show or even in some huge number, right?
Some shows require that. Yeah. Like 6, the entire show of 6
is energy based.
It needs the crowd to be involved in a way that Phantom of the Opera doesn't, right?
Yes. And I would even push back on, so let's pretend Phantom of the Opera is a bad example because it's kind of like a tired show at this point. But if there's an old show, okay, so Hello Dolly did a revival a few years ago, and it starred Bette Midler. And seeing that show, there's the big Hello Dolly, like classic number, and she received 3 in-act standing ovations. So like the show is interrupted because it's like so iconic, and she's delivering, and it's just one of those. You feel like you're witnessing this very special performance, and in that moment, everybody reacts in real time, and it kind of interrupts the show, but it feels like it's a part of the show at the same time. And I don't really know how to declare the difference. I know Lea Michele, the woman from Glee, who is like a Broadway, man, she's difficult, but damn, can she sing? And she can, and she was in Funny Girl, and the same thing would happen every time she did one of the big numbers, especially Don't Rain on My Parade. Like the room would erupt in standing ovations and applause every night, and they're screaming at the end, but like you want to like let her sing in the middle of it, you know?
Got you. One individual screaming randomly is a problem.
Yes.
Everybody screaming in unison, we're good. This is good.
So. I think so. I don't know. It's difficult to pinpoint. And again, I'm with you because most people don't grow up, and there's a stigma with theater that it's like corn, especially with musicals. Like it's corny or it's stuffy or it's just not someone's cup of tea. But like then people will go to the theater and realize like, oh, this is actually cooler than I thought it was. Oh, I can have a better time. So I think the better time needs to be encouraged. And it's just figuring out how everyone plays.
But there is a line.
Yeah, just like okay, when you go to a movie, there's a line, you know?
Oh, what's the line in the movie? Because not the stereotype, but one of us talks to the screen in the theater, and it's me. It's me. But there's a difference in talking to the screen in the theater. I'm only interrupting the people viewing its experience. I'm not interrupting the actors and actresses on stage trying to perform, if that makes sense. Like I'm not interrupting the show. You're not going to be able to hear because I'm yelling, "Hey, don't go in there, run!" But like the person that's on the screen is on the screen. They can't hear me.
Yeah.
I'm big into going to theaters and talking through the screen. I love that. I love that. You hate who?
Anyone who taught.
You hate my people?
No.
You hate my people. Just say it, Jessica.
I hate you.
You hate my people.
No, when I am in a movie, I want to be immersed in that movie.
But how often are you watching a movie where it requires somebody to talk to the screen?
Never.
Right. Well, hold on now.
When I'm at home, it's entirely different.
Hold on. Wait a second. We're watching a scary movie. The slasher with the knife is behind. He goes up the stairs. She comes running in. She's looking around for him. And then she decides to go upstairs. I shouldn't say out loud, don't go up there.
No.
Oh, you're outside of your mind.
Okay, but then
you're wrong.
Okay, if you've been in a movie like that, sometimes you have to know, and sometimes you don't. You could miss. But sometimes when someone makes that comment, it like cuts the tension in a good way, and everybody's like, "Oh, ha 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 ha! That guy just yelled at the sky. Don't go in there." But other times you want that tension to build, and you want the moment of it happening, and you don't want somebody who has just interrupted in that spot. I had somebody at the show on the Stereophonic show I saw. The woman behind me had to have a comment after like every single scene. And I took everything in me not to turn around and be like, shut up. Like, I don't need your commentary on this show that I'm watching. And everyone always thinks that they're quiet, but you're never quiet. I've been guilty of it too. My mom did it during Cabaret. She whispered to me at the beginning of it and was like, I don't know about this. And I was like, well, we don't need to say that right now because I don't want to dissuade somebody else's or to affect somebody else's opinion on it. I'm a quiet
What
viewer, I guess.
What was the movie? The one that was quiet. It's not Quiet Place. The one that was nominated for Best Picture with the great ambient sounds.
Oh, Zone of Interest. If you're at Zone of Interest and you're saying anything, you are a
I can't be like
psycho. No. I was mad at Chris for eating popcorn during Zone of Interest because it disrupted what was clearly meant to be.
Wait, are those Jewish people wailing in the background?
Yes.
I can't say that.
No.
Okay.
The whole point is that it's just the. Oh God. It's tough. And don't even get me started on the singers.
Who sing
Everybody
along?
wants to be a singer at the theater these
I'm
days.
telling you, when we watched Wicked, I heard singing from two places.
And one of it was next to you.
And I was like, wait, is she throwing her voice? This is talent. And I looked and it's the wife. It's like, yo.
I play imaginary piano. That's how I don't sing. I will sit there and I never really noticed that I did it until I started seeing shows with Chris, but I'll play the song on my lap so that I don't sing along. Because I would love to sing along. I could sing along, but I don't.
I mean, could you?
For the sanctity.
Could you sing along?
No.
Because you were in the regular program at Yale. You weren't in the elite.
It wasn't a musical theater program either. It was a straight theater program.
You're just a regular Yale theater program kid, not the elite one. So, could you
I did
sing
have a
along?
love scene. Yeah. Felt really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Wonder where Patrick is now. I don't know. Not on Broadway like the other one, I'll tell you that. Anyway, Jessica Lange was everything and more that I wanted her to be in Mother Play. And that's that. We gotta go. I could talk about this for hours.
I can tell.
I know. Bye, everybody. Great night of NBA basketball ahead. Well, I hope a great night of NBA basketball ahead. We get Knicks Sixers Game 6 in Philly. We will see what the fan section is like for the Sixers. We will see if we get a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. That would be fun. That game tonight is at 8 o'clock. The game before, we will see Pacers Bucks at 5:30 local time. Also, a Game 6. And we will see you all tomorrow. It will be Friday. Lang Whitaker will join us. We'll close out the week. River Beat Music Festival comes to Memphis this week. We'll give our preview of that, and we'll have a good one. Bye!
Best movie I've ever seen, and it's because of the crowd. It's Endgame. Because of the way the people in the movie theater all reacted in unison. It wasn't one person, me, talking to the screen. All of us were talking, crying, cheering. When they did open the portals and everybody came out, it was standing ovation.
Well, and I even think of in seeing Harry Potter at a midnight showing, and when Mrs. Weasley